All right. Good morning, everyone. Afternoon. I guess it's afternoon now. It is afternoon after 12 noon. So good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. Alexander, how are you? You have a nighttime lighting on the bridge, huh?
Yeah, well, it is 5 o'clock here, so
Oh, okay. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing bad. Not bad yourself.
How's the kid?
He's doing remarkably well. He's now 13 pound 4, so 12 pound more than when he came to the world.
Damn. Damn, growing like a weed, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good, good. So let's see. Paul N says it's 9 a.m. there on the left coast. Yes, yes, indeed. I miss the left coast, the socialist paradise that California is. I always joke. Uh, but yeah, sorry we ran a couple minutes late. And this morning has just been crazy because I've had so much to do, and we're trying to one of our volunteers. One of the persons we actually not a volunteer, but someone we've done cat rescue with a bunch of TNRs. Her husband built this amazing cat house. It's huge. It's like it's probably 8 feet by 8 feet by 7 feet tall, and it holds 20 cats. No, I'm sorry, 10 cats. It has 10 holes on it, 5 on each side. So probably 20 cats could fit in it, and it was supposed to go to a guy who had a cat colony right up the road here and at the chicken processing factory. Anyway, he got fired and they got rid of his cat colony there. I didn't get the details, but he doesn't speak English. He's a Mexican immigrant. And uh, so he took all the cats to his house, which I checked out, and he's got a shed and everything, so the cats are fine. So we had to find another place for this amazing cat house, which we did, and it's going. So we thought we were going to have to install it today, and then, but it's so big we need two extra helpers. And anyway, figuring everything out, it was like, okay, we'll do it at 11, no 11:30, no 12. I was like, okay, can't even get the help. So we're like, why don't we just schedule it for next weekend? We can all plan on it, make sure we have the correct help. And so that's what happened. Um, and then I looked at the email and saw that we had changed the time from 12 to 12:30. And then I looked at the email and was like, oh shit, the email still says 12. And that was like 15 minutes before 12. I'm like, shit. So that's when I got online and I changed the start time on StreamYard. And then I was like, well, I better eat now so I can work out after lunch because I was going to work out before it. So anyway, there you go. So crazy, crazy day, but everything is good. Let's check Reboot America. What's going to come first? The RV / I don't even know what that means. Hello, Luis in Brazil. Paul is on the red side of the Cascades in the People's Republic of Washington. I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, all right. What's up with Axanar? So we'll give you a little update. We're in post-production. We continue to be in post-production. We continue to see more visual effects. Our team's getting those visual effects previs to us. If you're on our Patreon campaign, we're releasing the previs to the Patreon donors. And so I urge you all, matter of fact, I urge you all to join our Patreon campaign down there, which is about everything we're doing and the working on Orville fan film 2. So anyway, please join our Patreon campaign. That's the best way to do it. And I'm trying to post like every other day. So, we get previews, we get whatever it is. But really, that's the place where I'm really trying to keep things updated and fresh. So you can join for a minimum of $2 a month. So it's practically nothing. We just had a bunch of people join for $2. God bless. And that way, find out what's happening. So there you go. We're working on, and then we're working on compositing. That's another thing. We have a new compositor coming on board. we're really excited about. This is a guy that's worked in Hollywood on things like, I'm just going to say, on major science fiction projects in Hollywood. So we're really excited about him. Super nice guy, big Star Trek fan. So he's coming on board, and so hopefully we're going to start making some real headway on that. We're trying to plan out. Mark and I had a serious discussion about how long everything's going to take, and because things are just taking longer than we thought they would. Back when we did Prelude to Axanar, we did the whole thing soup to nuts in like 3 months. But this project's bigger, and it's just taking a lot longer, and the visual effects are taking longer. They're much more complicated. Back on Prelude, Tobias Richter would just send us the visual effects. I think we only requested there were only like 3 shots that we actually requested. Hey, can you do this? The Klingon at the end was one of them. Basically, he read the script and he just sent us whatever he wanted. The Klingon crashing, that was another one that I think that's good. But anyway, this project is just massive. And when you see the visual effects, when you see the previs that we've got going, when we read the script, when the VFX team reads the script, they produce, we give them a little feedback and then see what they produce, and then we modify it. That's the whole purpose of previs, is to, which you've seen, hopefully everyone has seen our previs. We posted it on our website on axanar.com. I've released a bunch of it in updates. I don't know if I have any previs on this computer that I can share with you. Here, that's a full. Hold on one second. Let me. Okay. Let me share this. Well, I'll share this with you. I think I'm okay to share this with you. Let me share this so you understand that kind of what we're talking about as far as previs goes. Okay. This is here we go. So here you go. Here's previs of one of the big battle scenes, right? You see all the different Klingon ships there. They're firing on one of the Federation squadrons, and then here's another scene. This is a great shot with all the different Federation starships. There you go. So that's previs, right? That's what we're seeing. So we see the previs comes in, we see things, and then we say, yeah, that's great. Or our VFX team might give us 2 looks at something like, okay, this scene we envision it 2 different ways. And the previs is pretty easy for them to do, and it doesn't take a lot of rendering time because everything's just low quality, right? No backgrounds, no real, and so no compositing. Like sometimes they send us something, we're like, wow, that's awesome. Can you just tweak this? Or, hey, good as it is. Sometimes they send stuff, we just got some stuff and we're like, okay, you read the script wrong, right? That's not what happens. And so Mark and I talk and we really talk it through and then send detailed notes to our VFX team, and they will do it. And usually the second time comes out, we're pretty close to the mark, and it'll take 1 or 2 small tweaks. So that's it. Paul N says, has Klingon LCARs been updated since Star Trek 4? No.
No, really, no. It's still much the same. It's not LCARs. LCARs is the Federation, is Starfleet. Basically, you're saying, is the Mac OS Windows changed? No. There's different operating systems. No, yeah. Actually, I don't think the Klingon actually has a name.
Yeah, right. It's Klingon consoles, right?
I could go and speak to see if I can bother Michael Kuda and see what he says, because I asked him. Everybody calls the OS from Undiscovered Country, the blue the blue and the greens. They call it movies LCARs. So I went to him and said, look, I know it's not LCARs because LCARs was what you designed for next generation. It's a different operating system. What do you call the stuff from the movies? And he went, well, I'd say it's SCOMS, which stands for Starship Computer Operation Systems. Something like that. I can't remember the exact thing. I can call it up. But he says it's a variation of what the original Enterprise had. Just an update.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And you got to remember, we put way more thought into criticizing all this stuff than the art department does. Thank God we have Okudas and Drexlers who really care about the stuff and put the effort in, but most people don't. It's just a job. It's just like, we just got to make it look good, So there you go.
Although we were our own critics for the Ares bridge.
Yeah.
You insisted that all the buttons did something.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, we think that's important. So there you go. Yeah. Space Command is, I mean, they've been around longer than we have. I saw the first episode. God, I saw the first episode when it was. I got to give him credit. We saw the first episode back in 2016 when it was a disaster. I mean, so much work needed to be done to that. And Mark Edward Lewis was in the meeting with us, and we were just like, can we salvage? I mean, Mark came in looking for help, and we were just like, yeah, that's an insane amount of work because they didn't shoot on green screen. Anyway, they got it out, and we give them credit for it. They finally got it out. I think, I think Mark, listen, Mark's a writer, and there's a big difference between a right brain writer and a left brain producer, right? You'll see writers, and he wants to, so he's directed, and he directed World Enough in Time. So kudos on that, because that was really well done. But he made his career in Hollywood as a writer. And you don't often see writers becoming real producers. They may have an executive producer credit, but, I mean, the actual working producer. Because it's two different skill sets. One, the producer is a business skill set, and writer is a creative skill set. And it's a really, hey, listen, I can write Axanar, but you're not going to see me getting hired to write for Star Trek. I'm not good enough. It's different skill set. I'm not right brain. I'm left brain. And so they're going to, and there were times when I talked with Mark about working together, but hey, listen, it's his show. He does it the way he wants. We do it the way we want. And hopefully we all get our work out, and it's all something that fans enjoy. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, that's all part of it. There's always going to be a little bit, since we're at war, there's going to be a lot more military terminology. Well, remember, at this time period, the Klingons don't have cloaks. The cloaking device was something that they got in a technology exchange with the Romulans during the time of the TOS. So at this point, they don't have cloaks. So there you go, Lord Jason.
Actually, that's a good point. I finally figured out my microphone issue, by the way, so now you should be able to hear me better.
Much better. Yeah, much better. So There you go. So hello, Lee Benjamin. Lee Benjamin is one of our key
Hey,
volunteers.
hello,
He's
Lee.
been here forever. So it's good to see you. Yeah. So what so as far as updating, so that's kind of where we are. At this point, as I said on the previous update, I'm not telling everyone when it's coming out yet. However, we do have a plan, and we're starting to put down real deadlines that we think we can hit, because we need to figure out when and where we're going to premiere this. So anyway, there you go. And then what else is coming out with it? We're working on a couple things. One is a series of videos, kind of an oral history of Axanar, since by the time it comes out, it'll have been 11 years. So kind of like, okay, here's like a real, I've been talking to Josh Irwin about working on that. So I'm pretty excited about that idea. But there's a lot of work to be done. And then a full scale 2-hour documentary, real documentary, something that we can submit to film festivals and the like. So there you go. Well, yeah, that's, absolutely. We want to do the convention circuit next year once we're done. So that's absolutely possible.
Can you rent a theater in Las Vegas when the Vegas Trick on is on?
Yeah, we did last time. They should, hopefully once we have it in the can, and the plan is to have it in the can in the first half of next year, because then we have to print all the Blu-rays and distribute the Blu-rays, and we want that done before we release it. But I also think we're hopeful that the new change in ownership of Paramount and CBS will be good for us. I mean, honestly, as I've been talking about this with key partners in our organization, there's really no reason for Skydance to continue the asinine, petty, immature attitude that CBS has towards Axanar.
And anything that you appear in, it would appear.
Yeah, I mean, basically CBS has taken this this vendetta approach towards me and Axanar, which is just asinine considering we're just Star Trek fans. But they've been that way about all fans. I mean, they really don't give a shit about fans other than milking us for dollars, and which is evident in their attitude towards fan films and their attitude towards heck, I would argue their attitude towards conventions. I mean, why did they pull the license from Creation, who was doing a perfectly fine job with Star Trek conventions, and they gave it to ReedPop, who is an amazing organization, but who also failed miserably in creating Star Trek conventions. And now that license, I don't know, is it going is it going back to Creation? I know GalaxyCon is interested in that license. That's another example of just not, during the 50th anniversary of Star Trek in 2016, what did they do for the fans? Zero. So we think Skydance which is not a legacy studio, does not have all the bullshit and all the layers of bureaucracy. I mean, they're hiring up now, and they're replacing a lot of people, and they're replacing a lot of lawyers in Paramount. I know this for a fact because I've seen all the ads for all the people, all the lawyers they're hiring, senior VPs in business affairs, which business affairs is the legal department in movie production that handles all the contracts, right? But Skydance is an amazing operation. It is you can't argue with their success, and it's led by David Ellison, who is not a Hollywood guy. He's his father is the founder of Oracle. He comes with a Silicon Valley mindset, a much more entrepreneurial mindset. And why would Skydance come into CBS which is a total failure financially. I mean, Paramount is $15 billion in debt. So it's, it basically got sold at a song. I think they have a $7 billion valuation and have $15 billion in debt. So, when you look at that, you go, well, geez, that's not an organization we're going to let continue operating the way they were operating. Because obviously the way Paramount and CBS have been operating has been a total business disaster, right? And how many of those people are going to get fired or going to get replaced? Do you look at CBS and say, oh, yeah, you keep doing the shit you're doing? No, you're going to come in and you're going to, you're Skydance. You've had a lot of success with Mission Impossible and Star Trek and video games. And I mean, go to their website. Their website's amazing, right? These are guys who they know what they're doing. And they're going to come in and if you follow Sidetrack, the channel with Jamie Rixham runs, he gives daily updates on what's happening on all sorts of projects he loves, Star Trek, Sky, and Stargate. And he's he's the one saying that they don't want Kurtzman around, and they're trying to figure out how to get rid of him. And now I understand that Starfleet Academy isn't even ready to go until 2026. I mean, that's shocking. So anyway, yes, that is correct. 20 years before Kirk gets the Enterprise.
Willem's question. Yes.
Well,
Treaty of Algeron, 2311.
Yeah, exactly.
They signed it, and that way the Federation cannot use cloak. Which is why when we first see the Defiant, there's always a Romulan officer, because they loaned Starfleet one.
And Shaban, Michael Shaban, I think was his name, is no longer.
I think so. Yeah,
he's no longer in the mix. He left a couple of years ago.
Mind you, if we didn't have Kurtzman, we wouldn't have Strange New Worlds or Lower Decks.
I would love to do this, Paul. Would love to do a cartoon. That would be a lot of fun. I know Farragut did it, and I guess
I hate the animation style of the animated series.
Because it's so ridiculously dated, right?
It's cheap, and yeah, that was the name of the game. How can we make money? And spend very little to make that money.
Right.
The animated series came out. Yeah.
Let's see. Farragut forwards up to 97,000 views.
That's cool.
So that's good. That's good.
Notice how they didn't get a takedown.
No, of course not. Because yeah.
They shouldn't get a takedown. And
our trailer is up to, which hopefully everyone here has seen our trailer. Our trailer is at 90. What is it? 90,000 views.
I think you need to show it just in case there's one or two people here who haven't seen it.
Let's start it over. Okay. Well, hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. And no, that's not it. I was like, okay, here we go.
After 4 years of war, the final battle was here. We brought our best to face our enemy. We brought our ships, our people, our ingenuity, our courage. But the Klingons brought something more. They brought Leviathans. The Klingons had unleashed their dreadnought, the D7, and it wreaked havoc upon us. And Karn and his forces were massed to end the fight in the most brutal way possible. And we all knew the very survival of the Federation was at stake. But I was not going to let it end that way. And I was not alone. When we have our backs against the wall, when we are outnumbered and outgunned, when the darkness is about to overwhelm us, that is when what it means to be Starfleet really matters. That is when every one of us stood up and said, it ends here. At Axanar.
That gets better every time I watch it.
Yeah, that's they did. Everyone did a great job there. The narration sucks, but other than that, it's all pretty good. Let's just see. Yeah, no, I, it's cute. It's got its thing. I wouldn't be object to that. Again, Willem, the Klingons don't have.
No, he's talking about the Treaty of Algeron. Why the Federation doesn't use Klingon cloaking devices, and as far as I'm aware, the treaty says no cloaking devices, regardless who you get it from. No cloaking devices are allowed to be used on Federation ships.
That's Dreadnought Dominion, is the name of that fan film. Yeah, there you go. Daedalus is in process. They're finally starting. I think they're starting to composite it. I know Josh is editing it. So, I'm hoping before the end of the year, he's working away on it. So we'll keep you posted about that. But that's in process, and I think it'll be fun. I can't wait to see it because honestly, I haven't seen the footage in really. I just seen like glimpses of it. So there you go. I'm just checking the other message. So there you go. That's what's happening. It's the post process is slow, but it's steady. I mean, Mark and I we talk every day or every other day, and we have regular meetings about the stuff that's coming off. I agree with you, Paul. Excuse me. Yeah, that was a cool. He did. Matt Koifish did some great work. I think I tried to get in touch with him, but no one knew how to get a hold of him.
Although it should be stressed that these Daedalus classes are not original. They're refitted.
Ours are.
Yes, they're refitted into hospital ships, if I remember correctly. So no missile silos.
Yeah.
Don't need missile silos. Missile silos get taken out, and lots of wards get put in.
Yeah. So there you go. Tell you what we need is what Skydance needs to do is they need to have like a canon czar. So someone who comes in and just lays out, okay, this is canon, this is not canon. And I think what will happen is if they're smart, which I know they are, is they're going to say, hey, all that Christmas stuff, it's its own universe. It's just like the Kelvin universe, call it the disco universe. But it's not prime Star Trek, which again was one of the things that pissed people off so much, was trying to ram it down our throat that was prime. Oh, it's just a visual reboot. No, well, that's a different universe, So I think that'd be a lot of fun. Also, I really want them to fill in the stuff that we're filling in, right? Everything between Enterprise and TOS. I really would love to see a history of that period of time. Like, what were the ships? Get into detail on that stuff. Because I think that'd be a lot of fun. And then after you finish that and build out that history I'd love to see a kind of like the ships of the Starfleet book combined with a chronology type book. How many Ares class ships were built in the Axanar. I think we have 24
I think we've got 2024 named, definitely.
named. Yeah. The question, if they come out the final year of the war, or there's only so much time to build so many ships. So we named 24. I'm
sure I've got a list somewhere.
I cannot confirm nor deny this, Wilhelm. Yeah, I agree with Paul. We really deserve to see the Romulan War, and I don't care if they recast Archer, right? I want to. They have the books, and the books they're good. I think there were only 2 or 3 books. Well, it started with the Kobayashi Maru book, because that was really kind of a prequel to the Enterprise books were Under the Raptor's Wing, and let's see, Star Trek Enterprise books. Let me. It was the Romulan War, To Brave the Storm, and then Beneath the Raptor's Wing. So those were the 2, and I kind of felt like, geez, Romulan War deserves a lot more than 2 books. And then, the Kobayashi Maru book, which was kind of happened before those 2 Romulan War books.
Found the list. 24 named ships.
Yeah, there you go. So so those are the big 4. I guess then after that was the Rise of the Federation books. So anyway, worth. I think those eras, you can either canonize those books, or you can, do a project. I know there's a fan film about the Romulan War, or a couple maybe. I was not I rarely comment on other fan films, because I think fan films are a very personal choice by people. Everyone knows I love Vance Major, who makes probably the lowest quality fan films by his own admission. That's what he said. He said, my fan films.
He doesn't care.
Really good. But we all love Vance, and we love all his fan films, because he made so many of them. And you just, it's just mind-boggling. And now he's coming out with Constar.
I think the word is prolific.
Prolific is the case. But the Romulan War film that came out after Axanar, it came out a few years after Axanar, and they kind of replicated the Axanar, historical review of things. But they used all this official footage from Star Trek, right? Which, of course, is a major no-no under the guidelines. You can't do that. Why didn't they get a cease and desist? Because CBS doesn't care. Because, again,
you're not in
CBS only cares if you're good, if you're really good.
If you happen to be on screen.
Or if I'm involved. That's right. That's why they only care, which again is why they're so wrong. Why the business decision to sue Axanar was such folly, and made by the wrong Jonathan Lane, who writes the Fan Film Factor. If you ever read that, it's the blog on Star Trek fan films. And Jonathan, talk about prolific. That guy won't shut up. His articles are like, oh yeah, I gotta make this 10,000 words. Yeah,
he is rather verbose. He won't just verbose. Say yes. He won't just say Alec made a good film. It'll be 10,000 words, and he won't repeat himself either.
No, listen, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because he really is the chronicler of Star Trek fan films. And I think, I really think his stuff should be on StarTrek.com.
Agreed.
But yeah. Where were we going with this? We were talking about fan films. But Jonathan Lane always says that when deciding to sue Axanar, the wrong people at CBS made that decision, right? And he's right. They made a bad decision that wound up biting them in the ass. And then they're bitter at me because they made this incredibly asinine decision to sue us. And what happened? They got over a year's worth of bad publicity during the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, because their egos were so tied up in suing us that they couldn't go, okay, let's make this shirt. Let's just let this go away. Let's figure out a way to, right? And that's the problem. So unless you're studio quality, they don't care. That's why Star Trek Continues made episodes that were 50 minutes long when the guidelines say you can only make 15-minute episodes, and the guidelines say you can't make sequels. And, it's just, and then Romulan Wars use all this official footage from Enterprise, right? They don't care because everyone knows it's a fan film, right? Listen, Farragut Forward gets 97,000 views. Great. CBS doesn't care. That's not we get 6 million views, right? There's a difference. Or who else got a lot of views is the other fan film, Star Trek First Frontier, that Rob Pralgo, who plays April, was in. Good fan film, very good fan film, but not studio quality. So they don't care that it's an hour and a half long, and they don't care that it violates all these. They don't care. So there you go. So that's why. So back to Romulan Wars. Yeah, I mean, people have asked me, can you do Romulan Wars when you're done with Axanar? And my attitude is, if new regime comes in, and if Skydance fired all the knuckleheads who made the bad decision and all these bad decisions about Star Trek, and they were okay with us doing more, I wouldn't mind doing the Romulan Wars. That would be a lot of fun. And I wouldn't mind doing it, using the books as a basis. I think you could do a lot. I think you could do a lot with that. So there you go. All right.
Yes, we have Greek. Well, a lot of the Ares class, they're all named after Greek gods.
Yeah, and then the Vulcan ships, we make up names.
Just whatever
sounds Vulcan. We made up a Tellarite name. We're not going and doing what we do for the other ships. What we did for the Ares class. Nope, a cat just. That
was an interesting sound effect the cat made.
Who is the friendliest cat in the world? Just will not leave me alone in bed. Just comes up and puts his face like right here.
I've got a cat resting on my right arm just now.
Let's see.
There's a whole bunch of comments that's come in while you've been talking.
I'm not sure what the question is. Yeah, that's exactly right, Lee. His stories are good. You care about the people. The lawsuit was a draw. We've settled.
That's
exactly.
why CBS are that pissed at you, because they couldn't squish you.
Exactly.
You had the gall to actually defend yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's
why
they're pissed.
And the temerity to actually have a really, really good chance of winning, which is why they settled.
Jonathan Lane kind of covers this on his blog. Of Gods and Men was good. I watched it. Some good stuff there. I thought Walter Koenig was great. I thought that's Of Gods and Men is the best stuff Walter's ever done as check off.
Oh, I think I know what Paul N was talking about, the battle chatter. You know how in First Contact they tune into a Starfleet frequency and you can hear all the. Is Axanar going to have something like that in the background?
If it's appropriate in the script, I can't really tell you. All right, so there you go. If you have other questions, guys, just jump in the chat and let us know. Listen, besides the Patreon campaign, which I strongly urge you to join, just because we keep giving out information about Axanar, previs, all the behind the scenes stuff. And this is Caspian. Caspian. Oh, I know. It's such a love. The other thing, let me change banners here, is subscribe to our newsletter. That's the most important thing, subscribing to the newsletter. Now, a lot of stuff is happening. We're coming out with a new line of T-shirts. The new store is being moved to Axanar.com. And just because CBS lawyers continue to be assholes to us, so we're doing what we can to protect ourselves. Excuse me. No, Caspian is not in the movie. No cats in Axanar. But there will be a dog. Yeah, and I also go to Fan Film Factor. Caspian.
You do realize that's not your office. It's his, and
that's why the door always stays closed. Because I don't want them in here. He just pushed it open. So please subscribe to the newsletter. That is the best way to stay in touch with everything that's happening on Axanar. Gosh, well, the good news is that after this live stream, my day is free and I can get some work done and get my workout in. You
shouldn't say that, because you know what Murphy's Law does to you.
Something's going to happen. I know.
Your phone's going to ring, and someone's just found a whole clouder of cats that need picked up.
Oh God, yeah, we're trying. There were some cats that need rescue. We saved one cat, and that's I'm going to put that story up. But we also there were two cats that needed saving. There were two groups. There were 4 cats in Monticello and 2 cats down south, like 4 hours south of us, which we couldn't hit. Obviously, I'm not traveling 4 hours for 2 cats. The key was to find a rescue down there, and I did. I found one of our rescue partners was down there, and we worked with them, and they saved those 2 cats along with 4 others. Now he's back. And he's purring up a storm. Why are you purring up a storm?
This is very true. The cat distribution system.
Why so happy? Caspian's available for adoption. If anyone wants to adopt a cat, we have 15 cats in our rescue right now that all need adopted, and we fly cats all over the country on Delta Air Rescue Transport for free. So if you're interested in adopting a cat, let me tell you, our pet sitter adopted 2 cats from us, and she keeps saying how well adjusted all of our cats are, how well socialized and how sweet they are. And that's because we have 4 dogs and 4 cats and 11 foster cats. There are literally 15 cats in this house right now.
Oh my goodness me.
And because of that, every cat is always around lots of other cats and dogs, and Crystal and I. So they're always interacting. They're always socializing. By the time they get adopted out, they're just great. I mean, they love everyone, don't mind dogs. And so it's always a good situation. We will try and get JG back. He's awesome.
He's always on when I can't be on. Every single time, without fail.
There's some Greyhound coffee. I don't get it.
No, I don't get that either.
Yes, we have our chapter of Starfleet, which if you go to, which you can find us on Facebook on USS Ares NCC 1650. If you want to join our chapter, there's Michelle Evans. Let's see. Do I still have your book over here, Michelle? Yes. Since I always do this when Michelle shows up, Michelle Evans wrote the X-15 rocket plane. You get this book on Amazon. It's awesome. If you're a fan of the American space program, this is where the American space program really started, really took the X-15. And this book, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like geek heaven reading this book. So I am strongly going to urge every one of you guys to go on Amazon and buy the book, The X-15 Rocket Plane. So there you go. Michelle, I hope you're doing great. Michelle, we've been talking for like a year and a half about getting you on a live stream. So we need to get you on a live stream to talk about your book. Yeah. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. You know, I spend so much time watching YouTube. There's so much great stuff on YouTube. Yesterday I saw a video on the Battle of Midway from the Japanese perspective, and it was awesome. And it was all animated.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen that one?
Pretty
It's
good.
great.
Yeah,
it's great. Everyone knows
they do it from both sides, and you can understand why the Japanese made the decisions they did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. Listen, it was bad luck. The
U.S. planes just happened to find them just when they're rearming.
Yeah, no, it is. We won that war, that battle because of good luck. But it's better to be lucky than good, as the saying always goes.
Yep.
So
I mean, if they had spotted the U.S. carriers sooner, 4 against 3. Well, 4 against 2.5, because Yorktown really wasn't completely up to battle strength.
And that's the one they sunk twice.
Yeah, they thought they'd sunk her, and then wait a minute.
And the interesting thing is, I want to get this right. In World War II, the United States had 105 aircraft carriers. I mean, 105.
A lot of them were the tiny little escort carriers, though.
Yeah, 64 escort carriers, and then 17 Essex class carriers, which were the big ones. 17. Which is more than we have today. Today, I think we have 11. And that's it. So 105. You wonder why we won the war? Listen, as Admiral Yamamoto said, you do not want to fuck with the U.S. He didn't use those words, but that was his sentiment. It's like
the industrial,
because their industrial base will overwhelm you. And
yeah, he knew Japan could probably win a short, sharp war, and that's why they went for Pearl Harbor. They hoped to wipe out the entire Pacific Fleet in one go and make America go, ooh, okay, we'll leave you alone.
Michelle, you're going to Antarctica?
Yeah, I just read that.
What?
My goodness.
Well, that needs explanation.
Yeah, what possesses a person to go to Antarctica?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to try.
Didn't break the entire code. They only had about 30% that they knew what was So it was enough, though. As the movies
as the movies have shown, famously they found out just enough to piece together enough information, and it helped.
Yes, we will. I'm hoping we go to Australia and New Zealand. I definitely want to go to Europe. Oh wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Cool.
Um, yeah, well, and that's it. You know, they thought they were going to sink the carriers of Pearl. They didn't
Yep.
because the carriers weren't there.
They were out on maneuvers, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I
So
think it was actually I'm not sure if it was Enterprises, but it was naval aircraft that actually had the first run-in with
a
Japanese,
submarine,
the
a midget
Japanese.
sub.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no. I think naval air, a U.S. naval aircraft tangled with some Japanese planes.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if that.
I thought it was the midget sub that
They definitely sunk a midget sub, which they found something like 20 years ago. They went, so there was one.
Yeah. I urge you to watch. Everyone should watch both the Midway movies. The one from 76, and Remember Again. What was Charleston Heston's made up character's name in the first Midway movie?
His character's an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different actual people, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a real character. I mean, most of them were real characters. Which honestly, I want to do a fan edit of that movie and edit out all the stuff about Charlton Heston's son, because it is not the love story, all that stuff. It was just. But what a phenomenal cast that movie had. Just
it was a who's who.
Yeah, Robert Mitchum plays Halsey. Henry Fonda plays Nimitz. Glenn Ford plays Spruance. It is just one. Everyone is Tom Selleck's in that movie. Eric Estrada's in that movie.
He's one of the pilots.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was in that.
Yeah, I bet that. I'm sure that's true. Yes. I just saw this, and I didn't watch the whole thing. It came up in a search for something else. Because the USS San Diego is actually a ship in World of Warships. And Alexander and I play World of Warships. And I think I have the San Diego in my World of Warships account. I collect, of course, all the American ships. And the San Diego is one of them, which is kind of like the Atlanta or the Flint. But yeah, it has this, it's just supposed to be an anti-aircraft destroyer. That was the whole purpose of it. It's crazy. There you go. Good job, Lee. Good job. You're going to love it. It's such a great book. Yeah, there you go. All
right. So my gray matter was correct.
I guess chopping firewood. Yep. Something I don't have to worry about down in Atlanta, although it is starting to get cooler.
It's what is it?
Gosh, there was a great little reel on Facebook or Instagram about Final Countdown, how the movie didn't do well, but it was like a huge boon to towards the U.S. Navy, and it was probably the reason Top Gun got so much cooperation from the U.S. Navy, because Final Countdown did so well for the Navy as a recruiting tool. I'm sure they just gobbled up when Top Gun, like, oh yeah, we'll do that.
I like that film. I think it would a new one with one of the Ford class carriers would be interesting.
And my friend Jacob Holly, one of his friends, did a Star Trek fan film reboot of Final Countdown. In Czech. Yeah, it's in Czech. It was good. It was really good, actually. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize it. I was watching a film. I was like, oh my God, this is a rebooted Final Countdown, a remake of the Final Countdown. So
you need to tell us the name of that fan film so we can all.
I'm gonna have to find it because I don't know off the top of my head. There you go. There you go, Lee. Getting a thumbs up from Michelle. We probably made like $1.50 on that book, but hey, everyone should buy that book. It's just Michelle, you need to tell us like what's the indispensable version of your book that like what's the next one? So is there one all about all the lifting bodies? Is there a definitive book on the lifting body program? Because I loved all that, the M2F2 and the X24 and all that stuff. Loved all that stuff. HL10. I'd be really interested in that. And then what is the definitive book on the Mercury program? Anyway, well, you came in a little late. We're just about to move on, but glad to have you. 45 100. So there you go. But yeah, that's what I see. This is what I need to do. I really need to learn how to edit again, since I've forgotten everything I learned. But and then download the 2 Midway movies, and then do like the ultimate edit of those 2 movies. Question.
Yeah.
The
original Midway with the new Midway visuals.
Exactly.
Yeah, the story and the dialogue in the newer one, it's not worth that much. But the visuals are fantastic.
The big challenge, I think, Alexander, is that when you watch the original Midway, you really understood what was happening. They really explained it in detail, so you knew, okay, so the PBYs were going over here, and this one found the fleet up, and then this is where our aircraft carriers were, and this is how the squadrons went. You really understood it. Where in the latest one, it was just like one continual battle, and you didn't quite understand. Oh, more ships are showing up. Oh, more planes are showing up. Oh, right. You didn't really understand it. Which is one of the things I did with Axanar with the full script, was really kind of formatted in that way, like Midway, because it was so easy to understand the battle.
So yeah, the visuals of the new one just blew me away. The pilot's eye view as they dive down onto the Japanese ships, it just gives you a kind of idea of how terrifying that must be.
Outward Odyssey. Okay, so let's check that out, huh? Outward Odyssey.
I'll answer this. As far as I'm aware, the sets are still up and running.
Yes, they are. Wow, 23 books. Okay, so yeah, if you search Outward Odyssey on wow. That's a lot of books. Yeah, so if you go to Amazon, let's let me just so here, yeah, search Outward Odyssey, People's History of Space. 23 books, of which Michelle's book is one. But you can see as I scroll down here, like all aspects of the spaceflight flow. Here's Michelle's book, Space Shuttle Early Years. One book about mission control.
I'm still sore that they retired the space shuttle. There's nothing wrong with the space shuttle. There's everything wrong with their procedures.
Oh, this is interesting. Shattered Dreams, Lost and Canceled Space Missions. The Ultimate Engineer. I'd love to read that one. Here you go. Beyond Blue Skies, the rocket plane programs. What's it? Oh, there's FedEx. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that one. Beyond Blue Skies, huh? I'll open. Let me add. Gotta add that. Wow. So there's more. So there you go. Thanks for letting us know that, Michelle. I'm gonna order this Beyond Blue Skies book now.
And she's confirmed that Beyond Blue Skies does cover the lifting body program.
Cool. No, that's yeah. I'm gonna buy that one now. So all right. Well, listen. Oh, Phyllis Knudsen is here. Hey, Phyllis, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while.
Been around for a bit.
Okay, 4-5. So there you go. Okay, well, listen. Time to move on. Thanks for all coming out for us on a Sunday morning. We will keep you posted. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter if you want. Behind the scenes on Axanar, sign up for our Patreon campaign. You can do for $2 a month. You don't have to do more. You can do for that and find out. So Explorer, how are you? So make sure you stop by. Make sure you sign up for a newsletter because there you go. By the way, the new email system is I'm really liking it. So hopefully everyone's getting their emails okay. And we'll keep you posted about everything that's happening. And hopefully we'll have our new storefront up on the Axanar site, and we'll have a Black Friday sale here in just under 2 weeks. So I'll keep you posted about that. Listen, thank you so much. Okay, I'm just reading the last. Thanks for stopping by, Alexander. Thanks for spending your afternoon with us.
It's all good.
I guess it's about dinner time for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm having yet, but I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, I'm going to go work out. That's what I'm going to do. And
sounds like a good deal.
We will see you guys. I don't know when next. Whenever we decide to do probably do another one next weekend. Probably Saturday this time, and we may do an Axanar Confidential Friday night. So I'll keep you posted. All right, everyone. Thank you, Alexander. You take care, and we'll see you guys. Let's see. I'm trying to see if they figured it out. No, they keep changing. Oh, here it is. Here's the outro. Okay, bye. Oh, are they going to run it?